You're showing up, you're training, you think you're eating right, but your muscles still not growing. No size, no strength, no change, just frustration. Here's the truth. Working hard doesn't mean you're working smart. And if you're not seeing results, chances are you're making one or more of these 10 mistakes. This is the stuff nobody wants to hear. But if you fix it, your next bulk will be your biggest yet. Let's get into it. Reason 1. Not enough protein. Let's start with the most obvious, most repeated, and still most ignored truth in all of muscle building. You're not eating enough protein. Now I know what you're thinking. I eat a lot of chicken, or I have a protein shake after the gym. But here's the reality. Having protein occasionally doesn't mean you're getting enough daily. If you're serious about building muscle, you need about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight every day. So if you weigh 160 pounds, that's 160 grams of protein. If you're 200 pounds, that's 200 grams. Sounds like a lot. It is. But so is the work required to build muscle. Think about it like this. Protein is the raw material your body uses to repair and build muscle fibers. If you don't give your body the building blocks, how do you expect it to build anything? Arnold Schwarzenegger once said, "If I don't get my 250 grams of protein in a day, I feel like I didn't eat." And Dr. Mike Israetel, a PhD in sport physiology, explains that consistent, evenly distributed protein throughout the day is critical for muscle protein synthesis, not just hitting a number at the end of the day. So what does that look like in real life? Let's say you eat 3 meals and a shake. Each meal should have around 30 to 40 grams of protein. That could be 6 ounces of chicken, a cup of Greek yogurt with a scoop of whey, 5 eggs with some egg whites, a solid steak or a lean fish fillet. And that shake, it's supposed to supplement your protein, not be your only source. If you're not tracking this, you're probably undereating by a long shot. And if you're undereating protein, your body isn't growing. Period. Reason 2. Not enough calories. Even if your protein is on point, if your total calories are too low, you're still not growing. Muscle requires a caloric surplus to build. You need to eat more than your body burns in a day. And no, that doesn't mean eating like a slob. It means eating with intent. If you're not gaining 0.25 to 0.5% of your body weight per week, you're probably not eating enough. Let's do the math. If you weigh 180 pounds, that's around half a pound to a full pound of gain every 2 weeks. Not 5 pounds in a weekend, not 0 pounds in a month. Slow, steady weight gain equals lean muscle gain. Dr. Mike talks about this in almost every bulking video. If you're not gaining weight over time, you're not building muscle. You're just spinning your wheels. Here's a relatable scenario. You've been training hard for 3 months. Your lifts are going up. You're eating clean. But the scale? Stuck. Your clothes fit the same. Your arms look the same. That's not a recomposition. That's a plateau from not eating enough. The fix? Track your food. Start with maintenance, then add 200 to 300 calories per day and monitor your weight. If it's not moving, bump it again. More fuel equals more growth. Reason 3. Poor lifting technique. This one's brutal because most people think they have great form, and they don't. Here's the truth. Moving a weight from point A to point B is not the same as training a muscle. If your goal is muscle growth, every rep needs to challenge the muscle, not your joints, not your ego. Arnold was famous for emphasizing the mind-muscle connection. He didn't just lift the weight. He squeezed the muscle, controlled every inch of the movement, and visualized the contraction. Quote from Arnold, "The weights are just a means to an end. How well you contract the muscle is everything." Now think about how most people lift. They bounce the weight. They rush the reps. They let momentum take over. And worst of all, they're not even feeling the muscle they're trying to grow. Good technique means controlled negatives, slow on the way down, full range of motion, no half reps, feeling the stretch at the bottom, feeling the squeeze at the top. Here's an easy test. If you can't feel the muscle working during a set, like really feel it burning, stretching, contracting, you're probably doing it wrong. Fix your form before chasing weight, because sloppy reps don't build muscle. They build bad habits and potential injuries. Reason 4. Sets not challenging enough. Let's say your form is good, you're eating well, but your sets, they feel a little easy. That's a problem. If your last rep in a set feels like you could have done 5 more, you're not training hard enough. You should be finishing most of your sets with 2 to 3 reps in reserve, meaning you could do 2 more reps if you absolutely had to. Not 6, not 10, 2 to 3. Dr. Mike calls this effective reps. Those last 2 to 5 reps that really challenge the muscle. When you're already fatigued and the muscle has to work its hardest, that's where growth happens. Here's a relatable example. Let's say you're doing dumbbell bench press with 60s. You bang out 10 reps and rack it. Cool. But could you have done 14? Maybe 15? If yes, then that wasn't a working set. That was a warm-up disguised as training. Now I'm not saying train to failure on every set. That burns you out fast. But if every set feels comfortable, you're just going through the motions. And muscles don't grow from comfortable. Reason 5. Too few sets per muscle group. You can have perfect technique and push hard, but if you're only doing a couple sets per muscle, you're leaving gains on the table. The science is clear on this one. Most people need at least 10 to 20 working sets per muscle group per week to grow. That breaks down to 4 to 8 sets per muscle group per session, assuming you're training it twice a week. Let me repeat, working sets, not warm-ups, not fluff, not just trying it out sets. Real sets, taken close to failure, with good form and intent. Here's what that might look like. For chest, 3 sets of incline dumbbell press, 3 sets of flat bench, 2 sets of chest flies. That's 8 hard sets. Solid. But if you do 3 sets of bench once a week and call it your chest day, good luck growing anything. Arnold used to say, I don't count the reps. I only start counting when it starts hurting. Same thing goes for sets. Don't count the warm-ups. Count the hard stuff. Reason 6. Infrequent workouts. Here's a truth that stings. Training a muscle once a week isn't enough, especially if you're natural. You hit legs on Monday and then wait a full 7 days to do it again? That's 1 growth signal per week. 1 shot, 1 stimulus, 1 chance to improve. That's not optimal. That's just barely enough to maintain. Research shows that training each muscle group at least twice per week leads to significantly better hypertrophy. Why? Because muscle protein synthesis only lasts about 48 hours after training. If you're not hitting the muscle again before that window closes, you're leaving progress behind. Dr. Mike Israetel says, for natural lifters, frequency is king. The more often you can recover and train again, the more chances you give your muscles to grow. And Arnold, he trained every muscle multiple times per week, sometimes twice per day. Now, I'm not saying you need to train like Arnold, but once a week per muscle, that's bodybuilding in slow motion. Want to grow faster? Split your training up, upper and lower split. Push-pull and legs, run twice per week. Full body 3 times per week. Just make sure each muscle is getting trained twice per week. Hard sets, quality reps, no shortcuts. Reason 7. Inconsistency. If you train hard, but only sometimes. If you track your food, but only Monday through Thursday. If you get sleep, but only when Netflix isn't calling. You're inconsistent. And inconsistency kills results faster than any single mistake. Here's the standard: 80% adherence. If you're sticking to your training and nutrition plan at least 80% of the time, you're on track. Not perfect, not obsessive, but consistent. Let's break that down. If you train 5 days a week, that means you can miss 1 workout every 2 weeks and still hit 90% adherence. That's sustainable. But if you're missing 1 to 2 workouts a week regularly, if you're skipping meals, winging your calories, or taking rest weeks that weren't planned, you're not being consistent, and that means your results will be just as inconsistent. Arnold said it best. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't follow it, it's worthless. No one is perfect, but if you can't commit 80% of the time, it's not the program that's failing, it's you. Reason 8. Overtraining. Let's flip the coin now. If inconsistency is one side of the problem, the other side is doing too much. Yes, you can absolutely overtrain. Yes, more isn't always better. And no, pushing through burnout isn't hardcore. It's just dumb. Muscle growth happens during recovery, not during training. If you're always sore, exhausted, irritable, and you're starting to regress in strength, you're not in beast mode. You're in breakdown mode. Dr. Mike breaks it down simply. Every 4 to 8 weeks, schedule a deload. Reduce volume, intensity, or both. Give your body time to recover and adapt. This doesn't mean quitting the gym. It means pulling back just enough to let your joints, nervous system, and muscles reset. Think of it like sleep. You don't grow during the workday. You grow during rest. Same with training. If you never stop pushing, eventually your body pushes back. So take the deload before the burnout takes you out. Reason 9. No progression plan. Let me ask you a simple question. What did you lift last week for squats? How many sets? How many reps? If you don't know, you're not training. You're guessing. Progressive overload doesn't happen by accident. You have to track your lifts, your sets, your reps, your effort. Every time you train, your goal should be to do just a little more than last time. More weight, more reps, more control, more range. And you can't improve what you don't measure. Use an app. Use a notebook. Use your phone's notes app if you have to. Just write it down. Otherwise, you're walking into the gym blind, hoping to feel like you made progress. Spoiler, hope is not a strategy. Even Arnold kept training logs. He knew what he lifted the last session and exactly what he wanted to beat. It's not obsessive. It's called being intentional. And intentional training is what builds muscle over time. Reason 10. Lack of variety. This one's sneaky, because consistency is great, but repeating the exact same workout for too long, that's a plateau waiting to happen. Your body is a machine built to adapt. Do the same movements, same reps, same angles for months, your gains will slow down or stop entirely. That doesn't mean program hop every week, but it does mean that every 4 to 6 weeks, you should be switching up exercise variations, changing grips, angles, or tempo, rotating dumbbells, machines, cables, barbells, adjusting rep ranges, heavy, moderate, high rep. Even Arnold used this method. He constantly rotated movements to shock the muscle in new ways. You have to keep the muscles guessing, confuse them, hit them from all angles. Changing up your training isn't just for fun. It's a proven way to overcome plateaus and spark new growth. So ask yourself, when's the last time you did something different? If you don't remember, your muscles probably don't either. Here a quick summary of this video with the 10 hard truths why your muscles aren't growing and how to fix them. Reason 1. Not enough protein, 1 g per pound every day. Reason 2. Not enough calories, gain 0.25 to 0.5% body weight per week. Reason 3. Poor lifting technique, slow, controlled, feel the rep. Reason 4. Sets not challenging enough, finish near failure. Reason 5. Too few sets, 4 to 8 working sets per muscle per session. Reason 6. Infrequent workouts, train each muscle 2 times per week minimum. Reason 7. Inconsistency, hit 80% adherence or you're spinning your wheels. Reason 8. Overtraining, deload every 4 to 8 weeks or burn out. Reason 9. No progression plan, track your training and overload on purpose. Reason 10. Lack of variety, change it up every 4 to 6 weeks to stay growing. Cross-check your routine against this list. Fix just one of these, you'll feel the difference. Fix all of them, you'll see the difference in the mirror, on the scale, and in the gym. This is the blueprint. Now follow it. Now that you know why you're not growing, let's make sure you're actually doing the kind of training that fixes it. But before I give you that suggestion, can I ask you for a quick favor? Just drop a comment below. Doesn't matter what you say, leave a flexed biceps, ask a question, or even just type yo. It helps push this video out to more people. And honestly, that support helps me reach another brother out there who might really need this info right now. We're all in this together. Alright, here's my suggestion. If you want a workout that fixes half the issues we just talked about, one that's short, efficient, and doesn't even require a gym, then I've already got something ready for you. A few weeks ago, I uploaded a video called The Ultimate Dumbbell Workout. You don't need a gym. You don't need a bench. You just need dumbbells and the will to train smart. It's built for people who want real results without all the fluff. No guesswork, no waiting for equipment, just straight gains. It's right there on the screen now. Go click it and watch that next. And whether you're training at home or at the gym, I hope this next bulk is your best yet. Stay consistent, stay hungry, and most of all, stay a chimp, brother.